everyone, this is Brian from Provision Studios, and today I'm making a video that is going to cover the process I use when I go from a in-the-box mix to a analog sum mix through my Soundcraft Signature Series console. So basically the way that it starts is I'll go and I'll record an artist, whether it's a full band or a multi-track session where it's we start with a bass and drum and then build the session up from there. Regardless of that, my mix usually lives inside the box once the tracks are done until I get a initial mix approval. That could be where the artist says, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, or yep, that's good for what we're wanting. Let's move on to the next phase. That next phase for me is providing them what I call an analog sum mix. And all I do there is I take each track and put it into groups. So if we look in here inside of Pro Tools, I've already got this session. Again, it's set up where I've finalized my in-the-box mix. So now I'm going to set it up to run through my console. So when I create my mixes, I route all of my tracks into stereo buses or stereo aux tracks. So I got a drum bus here. I'm going to let's go convert it to a routing folder. Bring it over here. And I'm going to drag my drums, snares, cymbals, and shaker into it. I do not have a bass bus, so I'm going to go track new, stereo, routing folder. I'm going to call it bass bus. Drag the bass into it. Solo safe it, close the folder. Find my guitar bus, right click on it, convert to routing folder, drag it over here next to the bass bus, select my 4 guitar tracks, drag them into guitar bus, close that folder. Next we will go with our synth bus, convert to routing folder, drag that over here, select my lap steel and organ, drag that into the synth bus routing folder, close the folder, go to my vocal bus, right click on it, convert to aux routing folder, drag it next to the synth bus, select my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vocal tracks, drag them into the vocal bus, close the vocal bus, select my 99999 bus, convert that to a routing folder, move it over here, select my 99 background vocal tracks, drag them there, close it, and there we are. So now I have a nice consolidated session. Again, I can open up any one of these folders to see what's in it, so I can get back to my full session real easy just by opening each one of these routing folders. And there, now my session is back to the full session that I had. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to consolidate this, make it easier for me to review and see what I'm looking at. So very simple, very clean. I could make another one right here. Go track new, stereo, routing folder. I could call this effects bus, and I could take my verb, my delay, my snare, and all these, and I could put them in the effects bus. Okay. All right, so now the important thing now is to make sure that each one of the tracks that you have inside that routing folder is in fact going to that routing folder. So I see right here, drum bus is that folder. This shaker is not. So I have to click on it, go to track, and I want to, or go to bus, and I want to select drum bus. So now this shaker is part of my soloed drum track. So there's my shaker. And then here's my drum bus. So we're good to go there. So I'll check the bass track, and I'll make sure that goes to bass bus. So I go here, bus. Bass bus right there. Close that. Go to guitar bus. I got guitar bus. And I want to just, again, I'm making sure that these outputs match the input of my routing folder. This is important when we go to route it to the console. We want to make sure that everything's flowing in the same direction in regards to the instrument sections. Both lap steel and organ are going to the synth bus, so that's correct. Vocal bus, all 5 are going to vocal bus 1, very good. Na-na bus, they are all there. And then my effects bus, I want to make sure that this track, all the way through here, I want to make sure that they are going to my effects bus. And there we go. So they are all going into that. All right. So now we're good. Now I can hit play, and I'll have my whole. Let me solo safe everything. Let me do this real quick. There we go. All right, so we're good there. First thing I want to do is I want to set up a return for my console. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 new tracks. I'm going to first create a stereo aux input, and this is going to be called my print return. And then I'm also going to create a stereo audio track. And I'm going to call this my print track. All right, there they are. The input of the print return is going to be print, which is 2122. And that is going to go to my print track. So I'll go here, I'll select track, and I'll select print track. I will select on input monitoring so I can hear the input of the signal is going to go through here. And I'm going to take drum bus, I'm going to route it through analog 1, 2. My bass is going to go to 3, 4. My guitar bus is going to go to 5, 6. My synth bus is going to go to 7, 8. My na-nas are going to go to, let's put them 11, 12, and my vocals 11, 12. I use 11, 12 on this console to route my vocals through, and you'll see why here in a second. And my effects bus will use, let's see, 13, 14. So 9, 10 I'm not using, I'm skipping over that. And we'll see that the submix is being, I'm not using the submix in this case. So let me solo the drum bus, and I'm going to slowly bring in the elements of the song. The solo save should be on your print track and your print return. So there we go. All right. I'm going to have the effects bus on the whole time because I want to hear each track, how it's going through the effects. So it may sound weird because it's not the whole mix, but anyway, you guys will see what's going on.
Too bad things didn't work out. I was starting to realize how you felt, because you thought I was messing around with someone else. You are my go-to girl. Na 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 na. And I gave you my world.
All right, so that's really good. And I'm going through the console here, and we're going to step over to console real quick, and I'm going to show you guys kind of how the routing works on that. So what we got is, here's the console. I've got drums going through 1, 2, bass going through 3, 4, guitars going through 5, 6, synth going through 7, 8. Again, I'm skipping over 9, 10, and 11, 12 is where the vocals are going, and 13 and 14 is where the effects are going through. So, on each one, up here, we have our USB return is pressed down to make sure that all those tracks are being routed through the console. I have the low pass filter turned off on 1, 2, 3, and 4, which has my bass and my drums. I don't want to low pass those. So then all these tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 13 and 14 are all going to my group 1, 2, and then my vocals on 11, 12 are going to 3, 4. And you can see how I have that up a little higher. So that's why I use 11, 12. I just have it set up as 3, 4, and that allows me to route that way, so that I run them through group 3, 4. So that's how the console runs. And then the return goes back onto my 2 tracks I set up. So let's jump back over to the computer. All right, so then I would start using my effects. I would start with mix room. I would select country. Let me start in the song. So let me forward a little bit. I'll start at the verse.
But too bad things didn't work out. I was starting to think I had you figured out. And you wonder why I didn't realize how you felt.
That's not bad at all.
Because you thought I was messing around with someone else. But you are my go-to girl. Na 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 na. And I gave you my world.
All right, let's go with. Okay, so turn all this off, run my audio through it.
But too bad things didn't work out. I was starting to think I had you figured out. And you wonder why I didn't realize how you felt. Because you thought I was messing around with someone else. But you are my go-to girl. Na 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 na. And I gave you my world. And now you wanna do me like this. Girl, I can't believe you called it quits. Damn. Today was sure strange getting to see you. You walked out on me and here you are out of the blue. And the alcohol doesn't want to seem to help me out. Because you're stuck in my head even when I want you out. But you are my go-to girl. Na 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 na. And I gave you my world. And now you wanna do me like this. Girl, I can't believe you called it quits. Oh, girl, I can't believe you called it quits on me. On me.
All right, that's not bad. Okay, so I've started out on getting this mix dialed in. I'm using tonal balance control on my master fader, so that's everything is running into the master fader. So I got all my main tracks running into the console. The console then feeds into my my print return, which has mix room and CLA mix down on it. Then I was looking at my VU meter on my print track, so I'll print this, and then that print track is feeding into the master fader, which has my tonal balance control. That gives me a good idea of where my EQ curve is for the style of music I'm in. So I was lacking a little bit in my low mids, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to make up for that in the mastering process. This is going to give me a pre-mastered analog sum mix. That's what I'm gearing for today. I'm trying to get my level good. I'm trying to get my my balance good overall with my instrument mix. And of course, I'm trying to get a real warm, punchy, analog sounding mix through the console. So the next step I would do here is I would arm the print track for recording. I would start the recording process, and I would just monitor it, because when you're running through the analog console, you can't you can't bounce it. You have to print it in real time. So you literally have to play through the track when you analog sum, because of the fact that you're running through analog circuitry. It's not digital, so you can't. It's not a digital process. Even though you are running through a digital USB cable in this case with the Soundcraft's console, you're still running out of that USB cable into an analog console, and then out of the analog console back into the computer through a USB cable. So you got two-way transfer going there through your A to D and D to A converters. But again, you have to print in real time. So again, you would just start the recording.
But too bad things didn't work out. I was starting to think I had you figured out. And you wonder why I didn't realize how you felt. Because you thought I was messing around with someone else. But you are my go-to girl. Na 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 na. And I gave you my world.
And so on and so forth through the remainder of the track. Then when you're done, you would select your track, open up your clip bin here, and you would, whatever you select is what's going to be highlighted here. You just right click on it and export clip as files. That's going to bring you up your export window. You select the format that you want to export that file out. In this case, since we want a pre-mastered analog sum mix, we would select WAV file, and 24-bit. So we want to master 24-bit, not a 16-bit. Choose your folder, click export, and then that'll export that out in a matter of seconds into the folder you selected, and then that's what you would import into your mastering session. I hope that gives you guys some insight into the process I use from taking an in-the-box mix and then creating an analog sum mix. If you guys have any questions about the process I showed here today, please feel free to leave a comment and or question below in the comment section, or you can always email me at bbuck822@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And until the next video, I hope you guys all do well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.